everybody, to Waffle Talk. We just watched Dice Camera Action, episode 98. People in the chat, please tell me if my sound is too high or too low. And also, if you have any comments or whatever about the show, questions, feel free to chime in, and we'll do our best to discuss and or address them. With me today is Shauna. How are you doing, Shauna?
Good. Very good. Awesome.
And I brought in Dylan. How are you doing, Dylan?
I'm doing good. Hi.
Thanks very much for jumping in, and hello in the chat. Thank you.
Hi,
My
chat.
sound's good. All right.
Hey.
So, Shauna, you want to run down what happened today on Dice Camera Action?
All right. We had something a little unusual. It's like we just had a basically media res fight with Nulur at the Mind Flayer, and just kind of started in the middle. Everything kind of went usual, fight thing until Paulton got disintegrated. And they eventually beat the gang that the Mind Flayer had under its thaw, which was basically like a couple beholders, spore clouds, and a bunch of trolls. Magnus gives Evelyn the little like symbol, and well, they wanted to go to see Father Sunbright, but now they have a reason to really go to see Father Sunbright to get Paulton reincarnated, because they have a scroll of true resurrection, which Strix was not necessarily high enough to for sure cast and it work. So after the stuff with the Mind Flayer, they head back to the spire and meet Father Sunbright, have the get the little ceremony ready, but there's a giant statue of Evelyn in the courtyard, new, looks like, in her construct form, and there seems to be some sort of belief, like dogma passing from Lathander to Monitor, oddly enough. So they get that done. There's they bring back Paulton. Paulton's fine again. There's a little bit of fishiness going around the church, but Magnus gave a surprise for the Waffle crew, which is basically a manor that he was in possession of in Waterdeep. It's a really nice building, and it's kind of like their new little like base operations for the time being Western Waterdeep, and they now have a place to stay. And Magnus canonically survived, and is probably gonna go on his merry way after this.
Did they say where Magnus was going to?
Back to his school and to his friends.
Yeah, I think in the Adventure Zone, Magnus lives in a town called Raven's Roost.
I think so.
Something like that.
Behind.
Really? Oh, all right. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it started off like this was interesting. They started the show mid-combat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of in media res, where they, and I've never seen anybody, the DM says to the players, you guys have taken a total of 100 points of damage, so feel free to distribute the damage amongst yourselves. I've never seen that before. That was really weird.
Yeah, I thought I had missed something. Like, I missed a chunk of it. I thought maybe like I was behind a few minutes, because I'm like, what's happening?
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
Even Nate was like that at the beginning. He was like, wait, what?
And
did we just get a heartfelt speech?
So yeah, the divvying up of the points actually became important.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it did. It definitely did.
Oh no.
Did the monsters have any damage applied to them? I don't think they did. No, they did?
Yeah, I think
okay.
the Mind Flayer had a little bit of damage on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so what happened was they divvied up the damage, and it was Paulton who he got hit with one disintegrate ray, failed to save, and he actually got disintegrated.
Beholders are terrible creatures.
They are. Beholder zombies, I can say from personal experience now, are very bad.
Oh yes.
Thank you for that experience, Sean.
Yeah. I also know of the beholders.
It was like, I was kind of shocked because it was like, He only has 65 hit points max, right?
Mm.
I mean, bards don't have a lot of hit points.
What do bards get? What, a D6 for hit points? Is that what it was?
Oh,
Maybe a D6.
Something like
Maybe a
that.
Maybe like yeah. It's not a lot. You don't get a lot.
yeah.
He has like no con, I guess. 0 con. That was shocking to me that he dropped with just that one shot.
Yeah.
And he didn't have
Yeah.
anything that I felt like, I don't know. I guess hey,
It was
was
interesting. It was interesting to see how the chat reacted to their like initial shock, and they just started making fun of him.
No, really?
Yeah. I mean,
It just started. It wasn't like everyone said. Everyone's like started making jokes.
And I'm noticing in our chat that everybody's talking about Shift Spice.
This is a monster. This is a monster.
From Hell's Bells, which we'll talk about
This is
later.
Ramrod's fault. Ramrod's fault mostly.
Well, I made the mistake of mentioning it, and Jeroth42 has a non-Shift Spice related comment.
oh.
Jeroth's first ever character died to a beholder disintegration ray. The good news was he made the save. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're saying he made the petrification save, so that sounds like 2nd edition.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah, because they had those weird saving throws were weird at that time. I think
Versus wands and stuff.
I have no idea.
Yeah, and like some of them are. I think low was good, or I can't remember. It was all weird and wacky. Yeah, it was 2nd edition. Oh, yeah, that's brutal. Oh, Jeanette says beholder zombies are terrible. Oh, almost deadly to certain moon elf wizards. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so they fought. And what was cool? The mind flayer that they fought was wearing a gas mask. With stuff coming out. It looked like Chris used some of the gear from the Olithiad, the 2nd edition supplement that I like so much. Because in that they've got like these skin suits, and they've got and the suits give them little benefits and stuff like that. I thought, oh man, that's really cool. I love when he uses stuff like that from all the old products.
Yeah.
I really wish
I think that Mind Flayer is actually in Dragon Heist, like as an official NPC.
Nihilor? Yeah. I think is the only reason I know about him is he's one of the bosses you fight, I think, in the Idle Champions game.
Oh,
so that's the only reason I kind of know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I just know that when Chris posted like the NPC art back when they first announced on the Stream of Many Eyes, one of them was of an Illithid with like these little intellect devour puppies that he's like holding up and like, oh.
Really?
Intellect devours
Yeah.
are bad.
That's really
They're
cool.
also bad.
Intellect devours are cool. It's like it's a monster I always forget to use, but they're really cool. So I like that they're like kind of.
They're scary.
Yeah, use them against like the wizards or your bards who have like intellect and just like they love you.
D Stunner 1. Where do you think Paulton went? Oh, here we go. When he died. Where do you think Paulton went? He's chaotic neutral, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
there's 3 places.
Right.
Yeah.
Where else?
It could have been Asgard, it could have been Limbo, or it could have been Pandemonium.
Mm-hmm.
Pandemonium.
Part of me is inclined to say that because he is sort of has selfish bent. So
yeah,
evil, but
maybe.
not really.
I mean, could be Aboria possibly.
That's possible.
Yeah.
The wine stuff.
Yeah. I mean, nobody on there is really good, so it's like it could be.
Arborea is that the forest one? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's one of the forest ones. It's like the ones with like the Greek pantheon and like the Elven pantheon.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say, thinking about it, like Limbo is sort of like elemental chaos, and like to me, true chaos. Pandemonium, that's the plane for people watching who don't know. That's the plane where it's like tunnels underground with howling winds that drive you nuts, and there's a whole bunch of levels to it, and there's all sorts of secret things stashed away down there. I think for some reason Pandemonium would probably be right. It feels a little more like Paulton than Limbo, which is elements crashing together, and Gitzerai and the Slod, the Slotty. Yeah, I would say Pandemonium probably. The
Yeah.
Howling Winds. And, there's actually in Dead Gods, you go to the second edition adventure. You go there, and it's a lot of really
Orcus's
cool stuff.
wand is there, right?
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah, at the time,
Okay.
yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. Gerard 42. Oh, all right. Gerard 42. You got hit by 2 rays because full beholders can do that. I had to make 2 separate saves. My DM said, the good news is you made the save against petrification. The bad news is you failed to save against disintegration.
Dear
That's
Lord.
horrible. Lisa says that Limbo is so cool. I 100% agree. Jeroth assumes Paulton's after. Wait, you know what? Wait a minute. Paulton's is okay. Arborea, doesn't that have a party city in it? Am I getting?
Oh
that
yeah,
mixed up?
the
That's
one
where
of the
Paulton would go.
yeah one of the petitioners is just like a bunch of like Bacchae or what was it like?
Oh
they're
yeah, the
rebels.
Bacchae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would fit in with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a city where people always are drinking and having
Yeah.
parties, right?
Yeah, that's their. I think that's their gate town. I think is that.
Well,
Yeah.
he would go there and he wouldn't want to come back. Probably. I don't
Probably. Maybe. Maybe.
I don't think he would want to come
Seems
back.
like fun.
And Gerald points out that Paulton's afterlife is beyond the 4th wall. I would say, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He's just on his character sheet, I guess, a piece of paper.
God.
Laherl FFXI. Did they ever say what the pink beam would do if it didn't fail? Does anybody remember?
It was a con save, wasn't it? Or was it a?
Okay.
I think it was a con save.
In that case, it was probably a paralyzation ray.
Ooh.
Because the only other ray that the Beholder Zombie has is Wisdom saving throw. So
I think so, maybe, but yeah.
Yeah. Either paralyzation or fear. Yeah, looks like you said in the chat. So, yeah, so they had the fight. Paulton got disintegrated like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a pile of dust. You know?
He was being good and took more hit points, and he ended up being disintegrated for it. It's a lesson.
How do you feel about? I don't really have an opinion on this. I just want to hear what you think. How do you feel about when because the characters have died a lot, right? I mean, how do you feel about that? A campaign where the heroes die quite a bit and get resurrected over and over again. Like, what do you think about that? Do you like it, or would you rather? Does it cheapen the death when it's so easy to bring them back, or is this is the way the game is made and it's by the book. What do you guys think? Do you like it, or would you rather they died less?
I mean, I think I speak for everyone in the audience. If they died less, would be nice. But
really?
that's just I don't know. It's different in a campaign that you're just running for you and your friends, I think, as opposed to like a stream show. Because it'd be really weird if Paulton just died and was gone forever. You know,
yeah.
That would be kind of weird.
Yeah.
Almost 100 episodes in.
Yeah.
As opposed to you and your friends game every week, and a character dies. It also depends on what kind of story arc is going on and like how the characters are integrated into it, I would say. Like if Strix died in a campaign, the whole Lorcatha Skizix thing would kind of be weird at that point, and she just never came back. So I think it kind of just has to be that way for something like DCA.
What do you think, Shauna?
Yeah, I think death for campaigns like this, I think it's definitely like you want to keep the core group of characters of your cast, because I've seen it where they've had slightly more like dangerous campaigns where they just like they'll be very like hard, very tough fights, very deadly fights, and PCs would die like every 2 to 3 like sessions, and like you could kind of see like the audience kind of getting frustrated a little bit and just kind of like becoming less invested. So I think that's one of the things you kind of have to do if you're going to have like one of these shows is kind of a way to not write out those characters initially, because the rotation, if you have bad luck or bad fights, can be a little bit exhausting. But I kind of see it like the way kind of like Darkest Dungeon works, where like you will, no matter if, I mean, they'll survive, but they'll accrue like a bunch of these just maladies and like anxieties until like, you know, if the Waffle crew like accrues enough or dies enough, they're going to be more of a mess. Like just they're barely function, like they don't function like optimally now, but there you can bring that for till they're just totally non-functional. So
yeah, it's kind of like with the show. I feel like if Strix died and Holly made a new character, I think that would hurt the show tremendously. And I think a lot of people would stop watching. I think because people love Holly and they love Strix.
I love Strix.
If you take that out, and even if she's playing another character.
God, that first time where Strix died, I was like, oh no,
right?
Like what happened?
Because she's like super popular. So, it's a really weird thing. It's sort of like a TV show, you know. I mean, not like The Walking Dead, but you know, most TV shows, you know, no major characters die. Usually.
I mean, these things I think are more like they're not like The Walking Dead. They're more like a soap opera where like anything can kind of happen, and it's just like you have characters on there that can be there from the start or like have some guest characters. So I think that's maybe a model that I kind of equate the streaming with most.
I guess because like in theory, in D&D in general, I always struggle with like if there's no danger, then what's the point of playing if the DM is gonna? And Chris doesn't do this, but I'm just saying if the DM saves the players any time that their character should die, then the DM fudges it. Like as a player, when I'm in a game like that, I get really turned off. You know, even though it's a nice thing for the DM to do, but in my case, I don't care that much if I die. I'll make a new character. I want there to be danger. Otherwise, you know, what's the point? You know, to me. But in the stream, I guess it really can't be that way. Or I guess you got to set that tone from the beginning of the stream if you're going to do it like this. But in this case, it's like you have the mobile game, right? Evelyn is in the mobile game. Strix is in the mobile game. You can't really kill Strix or Evelyn. That affects the other products now. You know, people put a lot of time into making those, and so it's really weird, right? It's just like a really weird thing. It doesn't, and you know what? I don't on this show. I don't really want to see any characters die. So it doesn't really. I guess it's just kind of like they get, like you said. I've never played Darkest Dungeon, but if they can apply some kind, and Chris usually does apply some kind of negative effect to resurrection, then that I think that would be good in this case, because I think he had applied the death penalty at least once, you know, where you get like minuses to everything for a few days or something. But I don't think he applied it to Paulton on this one. I don't think he said anything about that. Maybe he will next week, but
yeah, I mean, maybe he's thinking that they're going to be resting enough where that's not going to be an issue.
That's possible.
That's true. Just hang out.
Does the resurrection sickness thing happen with true resurrection? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I mean, could you like double whammy that thing of like resurrect and then like I'm gonna lesser restoration. You're fine now. You're awesome.
Oh.
You know, I think what I would like to see actually is if Paulton dies, that Chris immediately starts running him in the afterlife, like he appears in the afterlife, and that way he's not just like, because he had to sit there and he had to kind of wait until he got resurrected. I think that would be a cool way to A, keep him involved, and B, you could do stuff there that could affect the game, and like I think you could do a lot of fun, weird stuff like that. I think I would like to see that. That would be pretty cool.
The thing that Magnus mentioned, that he knows Reapers of the Raven Queen, that's in the Adventure Zone. He actually knows people who work for the Raven Queen. But I think that would have been really, really cool if Paulton just like woke up his soul in the Raven Queen's palace. Oh, hi.
Yeah.
You're right. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Because he's run into the Raven Queen before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like the Raven Queen wouldn't want to get rid of him. Would want to keep him for something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, missed some comments here. Let's see. We did the pink beam.
Mhm.
Lehar, it feels like Dragon Ball, where dead doesn't mean.
Oh, it's not that bad. Calm down.
Yeah.
Jeez.
In Dragon Ball, don't they have like a halo over their head or something? The
Yeah,
dead
but
ones?
like death is like a short rest
Oh
in,
really?
in that show. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Basically, they just go, okay, we'll go on a quest to find the Dragon Balls, and then
All right. Well,
time skip ahead. We have the Dragon Balls.
like 2 days later, it's like, all right, you're alive again.
yeah.
Cool.
Jeroth says that I think Chris makes up for it by making Resurrection an ordeal. Almost every time before, Chris made sure there was some kind of cost, usually
Mhm.
emotional. I will say that Strix was probably my first favorite. Evelyn also grew on me. Hey, I think I already know this. You're both of your favorite characters. Both of your favorite is Strix, right?
Yeah. Oh shoot! You can't see that. You can't see the.
You can't see the Strix cosplay.
Yeah, we can't see Shauna's Strix costume.
I'm actually not sure anymore.
Really?
It's very, very hard for me to pick.
Really? People in
Yeah.
the chat, tell me who your favorite character on Dice Camera Action is. We can have an informal poll. I remember months ago they had done polls on Twitter about various things. You could pick the characters, and Strix won everything. Just everything.
I mean, she's very likable.
Yep. Jeanette. Let's see. I agree there should be a cost. True Res. Okay, yeah, they're saying the True Res can bring back anyone except those that have died from old age. And Lisa says she loves all of them, but Evelyn is her favorite. Yeah, that's my favorite too. Evelyn's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so they got in that. The fight was Mind Flayer, and then there was 2 zombie beholders.
3 zombie. Was it 3? 2 or 3?
I think it was 2, and each of them had 3 gas spores with them.
Oh my god.
So, and then there were the 2 trolls with a chain between them.
Yeah.
That had intellect devourers in their brains.
Yeah. Ugh.
So,
Crazy. That's
a big fight. That's a.
You know what? That's a huge fight that could take a really long time, but he blew right through it, man.
Yeah.
in an hour, yeah.
Yeah.
No problem at all. It was very breezy.
Mhm.
Pretty amazing because that's a lot of monsters. I can
Yeah.
see some DMs where they roll initiative for each monster type, and you're like cycling through. That can be really slow. But he blew right through that. It was cool. I always like the way that Chris runs battles where he generally doesn't let it devolve into just you roll, I roll, blah, blah, blah. We stand there, I swing, you swing. It's always like some kind of cinematic, dramatic kind of a thing. I really like that. Something I always forget. I always forget to do that. But Jeanette's favorite is Paulton. Oh, Dylan says Paulton. This is growing on you. Jeroth, if I must choose, I'm currently leaning Evelyn, but only slightly over Strix, and it could change at any moment.
Any moment.
Wow. Yeah. So they had that big fight in the sewer. And Magnus killed that Mind Flayer in like one shot, right?
6 attacks.
Yeah. 6 attacks.
6 attacks. Oh, D-Stunner. Diath is the best. Okay.
Diath is really good. Yeah.
6 attacks he has.
6 attacks.
How does he have 6 attacks?
I don't know. I mean,
he's like super high level fighter.
Yeah.
Plus he has his action surge. Plus he has battle master stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's high level fighters.
I think I've been running action surge wrong because when Jessie does it in my Planescape game, I only give her 1 extra attack. It's supposed to be.
I think it's only 1.
It's only 1, yeah.
Oh, it is only 1?
I think
believe so.
Magnus has like multiple like just extra attacks. I think on top of it. It also Magnus might not be illegal.
Yeah. That's probably very true.
Did I ever tell you guys about this makes me think of when I think of homebrew characters. When I was running games in the game store, there was this kid who was homeschooled, who came in because he wanted to play D&D, but he had taught himself and he didn't really know the rules. This 4th edition where the rules really matter. So he sits down and I'm like, hey, so what kind of character you got? And so he's got this like crumpled up piece of paper and he like flattens it out and it's like gibberish, you know. And this is 4th where it's like you're supposed to have every line. And I said, what's your character's name? And he said, Golden Bloodblade. And I'm like, holy crap, you know? So we're, you know, other players were getting kind of annoyed with me, but I just kind of went with this kid because I thought he was awesome, you know? Golden Bloodblade, everything he did, I would describe it like when he walked, like the earth shaked, you know? Like, it was so awesome. I love that kid. That's what I think of when I think of characters that are like, don't make, you know, Magnus is kind of like a crumpled up piece of paper, you know? I mean, he's got like a portal to a wood workshop or something, you know?
He has the magic goldfish. He has the chance lance. He has his Batman grappling hook. I believe the description, the official description for his grappling hook is it allows you to grapple like Batman. That's all it was.
And you're talking about the thing where he pushes a button and it goes.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, and then he can reel himself up. Yeah, that's awesome though. That's an awesome item. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So they killed all the monsters. And Paulton died, and so then they got to go bring him back to life. So they finally go to the spires. Okay, so they get there, right? And they meet Father Sunbright, who Evelyn's been avoiding talking to. And there was this whole weird thing in there where they were kind of like overhauling. Oh, well, there was 2 things. First, there's a statue of Evelyn that they just put up, paid for by House M. What was it? Ankatha or something like that?
Amkatra.
Now, was that the family that owned the boat?
No,
it
was not.
What was that?
That was Rajnar, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So I looked up Ankathra. Supposedly their lord is in charge of the Stable Masters Guild in Waterdeep, which would explain why his son had like a horse accident. And one of them, who is now deceased, was in charge of Waterdeep's cavalry and had a big horse farm outside of Waterdeep as well. So they're very horse oriented, it looks like.
What does it have to do with Evelyn?
Well, she helped their son in the Soulmonger, remember? The little boy.
That's the kid.
Yep.
Oh, that makes sense. I get it. Huh.
What?
So they paid for a statue of Evelyn.
Didn't one of Evelyn's family members have an accident with a horse? Was it her brother?
I forget.
I don't remember.
I think it might. I don't know. All right. I know that the father died in Undermountain.
He died in Undermountain.
The brother is Brick, who I think is still alive.
Yeah.
The mom might be the one who died.
That's possible. Right? I just remember hearing that for some reason.
Yeah, the horse thing was familiar for some reason.
I get the feeling we're gonna see Brick sooner or later.
We have to.
I thought we were gonna see him this episode. Yeah. The whole father and son title had me like.
I'm waiting for that. What was it? The big Waffle thing to come in at some point. What was it? The the big like law like the giant Modron thing. Whatever. Shoot, I forgot what its name was.
Oh, the Marut.
Yeah, the Marut. There's a Marut somewhere out there.
Oh yeah, I'm almost certain.
Yeah.
It'll probably show up at a really bad time.
Probably like the end of the episode.
Yeah, maybe after Magnus leaves, so they know Magnus is gonna like kill it.
Oh right, yeah, he's gonna wait
one round.
One round.
It's probably like hiding, like in an alley, waiting for Magnus to leave.
Is it going yet?
So okay, yeah, that's why they put the statue up. And Father, so there's a thing going on in the church where Evelyn worships Lathander, the Morning Lord, and I guess in Forgotten Realms lore, the Morning Lord used to be a monitor or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for some reason, this church is swapping out Lathander stuff for a monitor stuff. Why? Like, what's that all about? Do you guys?
Yeah. I don't know.
So, I wasn't really tuned in to Forgotten Realms and 4th edition.
Mhm.
Mostly just the core 4th edition books. But I believe after the Spell Plague, a bunch of the gods were basically revealed to be just like masks used by other gods.
Mhm.
And Lathander was one used by a Monitar who is supposedly dead, but he had just like changed forms into Lathander.
Yeah.
Why the Waterdeep Church is like changing now?
Because
I'm not sure.
the spell plague was like a while back.
It
in
was
this
a while
concept,
ago, yeah. Exactly. But yeah, that is interesting. That's very interesting.
'Cause, what was it? They're the same, but a Monitor is more of a severe god than Lathander is.
Yes. Yes, he is. I
Oh, he is?
believe
Really?
I
Mhm.
believe
More law.
Lathander's neutral good and a Monitar is like more lawful and more neutral on the
Mhm.
spectrum. So
Hmm. Yeah, I don't really quite get where that's going exactly. Like why?
I'm not sure either.
It's kind of weird. Like, why would you worship Lathander all this time and then suddenly switch out?
Mhm. Like unless you're, I guess if you're like preparing for like some big conflict or something, you'd want a more like kind of like stalwart like god at the head of your church, maybe like.
Possible.
Jeanette says that Lathander was an aspect of a Monitor, so a Monitor is like the big core, and Lathander is
Yes.
like a little.
Mhm.
That's weird.
If I remember correctly, Selune, the moon goddess, like she was also known as Sehanin, the elf moon goddess, and
Oh.
like a dwarf moon goddess, and like they were all just aspects of her.
Mhm.
So it was something similar with Lathander and a Monitor.
Yeah, that fourth to post, that third to fourth to fifth cosmology is really
It's really weird.
strange. Yeah, it's really weird.
The Sundering and the Spell Plague and the second
Yeah.
Sundering.
I mean, I kind of wonder if this has to do in some way with Shar, just because Chris had introduced
Mhm.
evil and maybe evil Evelyn, actually, I think is her name.
Evelyn, yeah.
and maybe somehow this is related to that. I kind of wonder if maybe the church will split, where there's an Monitor and a Lathander, and they don't get along.
Maybe. I mean, there is that person at the church that kind of like was kind of trying to get DS attention, I guess.
Hey,
what happened to Warrington Munt?
Oh yeah,
he's maybe looking for guns.
That's possible.
Maybe he bought.
I don't know.
Maybe he bought a chair at ChairCon and it was getting delivered.
Yeah, he got the most comfortable chair in the world.
I don't want to miss my delivery. They said be delivered between the hours of 2 and 4.
Just have to stay in the yawning portal until then.
Oh, Jeanette says when the Netherese Empire fell, the survivors abandoned a Monitor, and the lack of believers is basically death to a god. Yeah,
there's some.
Yeah, it's a very Planescape thing. Yeah, so yeah, they raised Paulton, and Paulton has gone full 100% Deadpool at this point.
Yeah,
the transformation was complete, I think, today, where he described his character as watching the heroes in a movie theater.
I mean,
the other dead guest star characters.
Yeah, I mean, when Diet does it once, you kind of have to like, counter back stronger.
It's true.
So, and when he was brought back to life, actually, Evelyn was weeping, and he actually ran over and hugged her. And I would say that the Maloon incident has completely transformed the ship. Of what is it called? Evilton.
Something like
I
that.
guess. Yeah.
Wine and Shine.
So it's called
That's
Wine
much
and
better.
Shine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. And it seems like the combination of Omen, Maloon, and the dwarf with the crossbow hand has suddenly kind of snapped to attention a little bit,
and maybe even Father Light.
Father Sunbright.
Lightbright.
Oh my
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, you like asked her on a date.
I missed that.
Hey, you want to go get lunch tomorrow?
I missed that. He said that. Really?
It wasn't that like suggestive. He was like, "Hey, we go on a lunch date. Like catch up. I don't know, have some stuff to talk about."
Wow. It's nice because I always felt like in the beginning of the show that people treated Evelyn poorly. So I like seeing people be nice to her.
Now she has this giant statue now. Now she has
True.
Yeah, now she has a statue. Yeah, I like it.
Have fans coming up like wanting to sign their merchandise.
Yep.
They should. I mean, they're 10th level or maybe 11th.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, and they ended the death curse. So
yep.
You should.
I guess Evelyn did get credit for it. Like it's not a secret thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Paulton could spread the word by going on a bard tour, singing of their exploits.
What was the thing that someone said was the new tour thing when he got disintegrated? It was so good. It was really good.
Oh, drunk off your ash.
Yes.
Rowdy Sniper. Poor Paulton. Maybe one of his deaths will be used for something more than advancing other people's stories. Well,
Paulton.
Womp womp. Like, Diath and Strix, their story is kind of connected. Evelyn's story is the church and Lathander and all that stuff. Paulton's story was linked to the Raven Queen, but the Raven Queen kind of pulled out of that.
Whenever Strahd shows up again, it'll probably be pretty important.
Yeah, the Ring of Winter. That's true. He's linked. His story is overall, it seems, linked to Strahd. So
and Ravenloft, just in general.
Yeah, they'll come back.
And the doll is still out there.
Oh yeah.
And so, and that's right. We've talked about how there might actually be 2 Strahds now.
Right.
One in a doll and one in Barovia, which is really weird. But maybe they could do like how Orcus and Tenebris became 2 separate entities. Maybe they'll do something similar with that, where there's like a Strahd vestige or something in the doll or something like that.
Stuff is always weird.
Let's see. Jeroth, I've always loved the idea of gods being tied to the amount of belief in them. Yeah, me too. Murphy's lore has some fun with that. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a Planescape thing originally, and I agree with you. There's so many cool things you can do with that. Like everyone loves Evelyn. Yes, that is very true.
Yep.
I don't trust Sunbright. I have a bad feeling about him.
Yeah. There's something.
I am almost certain he's just using Evelyn to boost his standing in the church.
So?
Yeah, he has the in with her because he knows her from when he was like way down. So now that he's in contention to be high priest, why wouldn't you use it when she's like a living saint?
Yeah.
I'd like to see Paulton rise now that we've kind of seen him hit bottom with the whole turning evil bit.
Yeah, I
guess. What do you do with?
He's gotten more responsible, and Chris has been like, he's basically, I think, been hit harder now that he's become responsible Paulton than when he was just being reckless Paulton. Like,
true.
Very true.
He really well, we've talked about that, but he's really changed a lot since the beginning of the show. He's completely different. He grew out of all the characters, by far he grew the most. He's in a completely different place now than he was when they started.
Yeah.
Sometimes Simon's still with them, right?
Yep, Simon's still with them. Yep.
Yeah,
Simon and Waffles constantly with them.
Sniper, that, and he can lord the whole "Hey, I brought your friend back to life" thing over.
Oh yeah, good point.
He didn't do it for free, so 2,000 gold.
It's true.
The only stubborn Paulton trait is not wanting to deal with his emotions. It's true.
Yeah.
He's not. He can't talk about feelings. So then, towards the end of the show, Magnus said, "Hey, I'm going to give you a mansion." And he gave them
A mansion.
A mansion. 2,000 gold for the restoration and a mansion.
Amazing.
It's a good day.
And there's 4 rooms.
A turret.
Yeah, the attic.
A lot of space for liquor.
Yeah.
That's right. The whole first floor is like a tavern or something like
That's
Mhm.
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently it's haunted.
No.
What I mean,
Maybe.
oh,
Was this something from the Adventure Zone, or is it something they just made up?
I
You guys
don't
know?
know.
I think it's just something for this because I don't think they ever actually went to Waterdeep
I'm
in the adventure.
yeah. I'm wondering if it's that because I remember them talking about that in when they announced the Dragon Heist. Is that
Yeah.
Bolo would give you property? I'm wondering if this is just a way that they got the property.
Oh, and Chris had said he has a map,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe
Yeah.
the map is right from the adventure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
D Stunna says it's a Dragon Heist thing. Oh. So that's right, because yeah, in the beginning, right, Volo can give you a building. So this might be that building from the beginning. You know what? And if he shows them the map, we might get to see the map.
Oh yeah, see what that
That'll be
that
the
room
map
looks like.
right from
Possibly.
the upcoming adventure.
That's
But
always nice.
And it's haunted. That's weird. I wonder what the story is.
It's helpful. It seems like so.
Yeah.
It's either that or it's like The Shining, where the bartenders are like gonna tell Paulton, "Kill your friends. Come on, just do it."
Yeah. Is that like this? That's like the scariest movie ever. The Shining.
Oh, it's pretty scary.
It's good.
The only one scarier I think is The Exorcist. You guys ever?
Yes.
Not in a
Can't
gross
watch it. I
way.
can't watch any of those.
Yeah.
Oh.
If it's they're not like gross out movies. They're just fucking like The Shining. I love though. Anyway, Jeroth. Truba seemed more like a one-off joke for the time jump and a symptom of something like Paulton. Sniper Paulton being convinced by a spectral entity to kill his friends. That's that's very last season.
Wouldn't be the first time.
It'd be funny if like the ghosts were all like the old and the guest stars that died. You know,
Oh no, that's a lot of them.
That'd be really funny.
They all collect in this mansion. And
Ew! Oh no.
In some way. So you can have Falcon, who died way back when, buffering Paulton's fall. That one always stuck out to me. You know, like, man, Paulton.
It was the first quote unquote NPC PC play guest character murder.
The first one.
Yeah. There's been like four of them, I think.
I like how you have to qualify. It's the first one. There's multiple.
Yeah. Made by each character, I think, almost.
Yeah. Because
yeah.
That was, and it was like Paulton was so cold about it. He just did it, and like there was no. You know. Harsh. I kind of wonder if Harshnag, remember the frost giant? He fell off the side. I kind of wonder if he's still alive.
I think he's dead.
They went.
I don't know.
I think they couldn't find his body though. I think.
He lives in Waterdeep, so if he is alive, we might see him again.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my bird?
The bird.
Yeah, where's my bird?
The bird was undead or something, right? Did it become undead or no?
Oh, it's possible.
I know that the drow. The Sam Sykes drow is still alive. Right?
Yeah, Sam Sykes drow still alive.
Lisa Lee played the little girl who got killed.
During the
ritual.
Yeah,
and Rachel Seeley's character is still out there. I think she was the one who had the most episodes under her belt.
Yeah,
Chris,
also...
each episode, Chris would take a shot at killing her, just like one shot, and it wasn't even like it was pretty like Rachel. Someone sneaks up behind you and stabs you. It wasn't like make a perception. You know, it was just all that happened. Just like I'm gonna stab you.
Oh, you suddenly have 2 Shadar Kai and an army of snow Paultons attacking you.
You're still alive. Whoops.
Oh.
Magnus is a great guest star.
Yes.
It
was very surprising to see him. I never expected to see Magnus Burnsides on.
Yeah.
He's very he's just really like comfortable. He just fit right in. You know what I mean? It wasn't like awkward at all. He just plopped in there, and and he just rolled. Right along with it. You know, he's like Danny Hartel was like that too. She just she just jumped in, and it was like she'd been there from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like those. I like it when that happens. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and Murdy Gurdy. You know, he was just
Yeah.
really funny. You know, and I got a kick out of all the Gygax references and stuff like
Yeah.
that he
I mean, you
would
could
do.
see him. I mean, there's this book that has Mordecai all over it, so maybe.
True.
Nate has been playing the fourth wall breaks in character for a while now. It seems more serious. In fact, the party has acknowledged his fourth wall breaks in character occasionally. Yes. So, all right, we're running low on time, and I wanted to talk a little bit about. There's another show that Holly is on. It just debuted on Sunday, and it's called Hell's Bells. And it's what I love about this show is it's run by Maz, who was a guest on Waffle Talk a while back. And Maz is running the second edition adventure, The Great Modron March, and converting it to fifth. And Shauna, you're on the show.
Yeah, it's a thing, and it's weird. It's slightly terrifying, but it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun getting this stuff organized and being able to play.
So what was it like? Can you tell people what it's like to be on one of these D&D streams on the channel?
I mean, thankfully I had enough like being like on this and being on your stuff. Kind of, I don't know how I would have functioned otherwise. It probably would have just been like deer in the headlights. But yeah, just it's a lot like doing the regular streams, but there is just like this ad thing. It's like back of your mind, it's just like always like, oh, this is on the D&D channel. Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So like at the beginning, I didn't even look at the chat. So, but like after a while, I kind of looked at it because it's like, I don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then you looked at it and it was okay, right?
It was fine. I think after a while, you just kind of get into that mode, and I think it becomes fine. And I know everybody on there, so most people.
So it was like once you played for a little bit, you got comfortable. It's
Yeah,
just like...
I mean, we did one kind of like test session to see what playing with 7 people's like, and just so I've played with most of a couple of them before, so it was pretty comfortable. It wasn't like the things where you go into a one shot or a new thing where it's like you don't know anybody and it's kind of weird where you don't like you're trying to figure it out. I mean, there's still some of that. Episode 1s are kind of hard for me still to you still kind of get the use, but it's a lot easier because we've been kind of working the characters out a little bit with each other a little bit.
Yeah, I could tell.
Nice.
You could tell because you had. It was like the characters already knew each other, and you guys definitely had like you all were familiar with each other's characters, and you had kind of a back and forth.
Yeah,
already.
We had like little mini RP sessions like text, just kind of get the feel of what each character's like, and so we kind of had like by the time we aired, there were kind of like everyone kind of had someone that they knew they could play off well. It's like for levity for my character, TK's character Gil was going to be the one. So kind of like they instigate each other, and with Kayla it was Pentar, it was with Dirge, because they're kind of both like in that decay aspect. Like they kind of describe them as like the really spooky like Daria and Jane of the group.
Like Holly usually plays Strix, but on this show she's Dirge, and it's weird to see her play a different character. Dirge is a member of the Dustmen, who is all about the true death, which is dying for real, which is hard in D&D, because usually when you die, your soul becomes, just goes to another plane. You start your next phase of life, and it was really fun to see her play. It was Dirge, just a tiefling who's a Dustman, just like Strix, but it was a different character, and it was very
it's a very kind of like proactive about the true death, to the point where it's like, I'm afraid if any of our party goes unconscious, what's going to happen?
She's going to make you all sign dead contracts.
Oh, please don't make us part of the ritual, or don't put mushrooms on us. That's going to be the thing.
Yeah. And Hadil's on the show, and she plays Miga, who's a little girl who is constantly acquiring treasure.
We are not teaching her good lessons.
I believe she's already drank alcohol. Is that right? On the first episode,
Nice.
Yeah, Levity gave her alcohol, which is maybe not the greatest thing considering.
How old is Miga? Like 12?
I don't know, like around there.
Oh.
Yeah, and she's got like a pickpocket chart.
She has her own pick. It's mostly junk.
Yeah.
She gets rid of money and takes string.
Yes, and so on the show, so they're doing the Great Mode Run March, and the thing that stuck out to me was you have 7 players, and I mean, I think a lot of people watching this have probably played in a game with a lot of people, and it can be really slow. And then in real life, a lot of times there's those side conversations going on that it's just kind of like the game just gets ruined if everybody isn't like paying attention and being quiet. So you had 7 people on the stream, and someone in the chat mentioned Jeroth said it. Just ask Matt Mercer what playing with 7 characters is like.
Yeah,
And,
I think.
But you guys got through the entire first adventure in one session, under 3 hours. That was pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think Holly was really. Matt was good about moving it forward. Holly was really good at kind of like leading the group forward, and I think everyone in the group is pretty mindful, like who hasn't been talking in a while, and kind of like sharing it. Yeah,
that's always really nice in a group.
Yeah,
because I know that both of us, Shauna, are kind of like quiet people.
Yeah,
so I appreciate that.
Yeah, if you notice, like in our games and stuff like that, if I like, my thing is I don't like kind of like interrupting something. I'll kind of have like that little reaction, like if I kind of like step on someone's thing. So that's my thing in general. It's just kind of have to get over.
So there was a thing. All right, so I'm sure nobody cares about this, but in my games on my channel, we've been doing this thing with Shift Spice, and I was really excited about Shift Spice. I got it from Planescape Torment, and I'm like, I'm gonna give this to them when I run Rakma, right? It's gonna be a special treat, Each of you is gonna get 1 container of Shift Spice, And I gave it to them, and nobody seemed to care. And I was a little offended, so I went and I made sure to describe it again, because it's a magic spice where you put it on your food and you imagine what the flavor is, and that's the flavor, right? It's precious. It's a precious commodity. And somebody had the gall to assume that it can't, like if you go to like McDonald's or something, or they have mustard in like a little packet that you could squeeze and it'll pop open. That Shift Spice comes in these packets, and I'm like, no, it comes in a special container from Limbo made by Githzerai artisans. It doesn't come in a flavor packet.
I think
from that moment on, everybody's trolling me with the Shift Spice. And it's
although Sean, I should point out, in Planescape Torment, when you are introduced to Shift Spice, the merchant hands you a little packet.
Yeah.
There's no graphic of the packet.
That's true.
There's no graphic. You've been saved. And I think Ramrod no longer has the Shift Spice. I think it ran out, so I think you might be safe in the game.
And also, it's possible that maybe that was just a free sample, and like a sample.
This is true. He could have had like a sample platter.
When they say packet, they might mean a mini envelope, like an engraved envelope.
Oh God!
Like they're selling cocaine? What?
Oh my God!
No, a mini envelope with a wax seal on it.
Okay. Okay.
Look at that. You just snort it.
So.
You just snort it, and everything tastes good.
Oh man.
So Maz decides to. Yeah. Okay. Maz decides to put an NPC in this adventure. The name, I believe, was S3-4N. It's a
4N, yes.
Which sounds like Sean to me, and that became confirmed when it opened it up and it had packets of Shift Spice in the monodrome's compartment. And so well played, very nice. I'm going to be making a retaliatory NPC soon.
Oh God! If only there was a player in that game that you could torture with that. Huh.
Well, I'm thinking actually of making an NPC called, Maz backwards is Zam. So I'm thinking I'm going to have you guys meet Zam soon.
Just oh no.
I'm still working out what Zam's gimmick is and
Crochet.
how it troll. Oh, really? Crochet?
Crochet monsters.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, that might be.
That'd actually be cool.
Yeah.
I have to be careful about suggestions I give, because one of the other games I'm like, yeah, you would be cool. Aggressive mouse droids, and that's a thing, and I regret it. I regret it 'cause it's made life hell.
Oh, do you mean Star Wars?
Yeah, like
Those
I was my
little
suggestion.
things that zip
Yeah,
around.
because I was like, yo, because there was a poll where like, what should they fight? And I'm like, aggressive mouse droids, and it's like they picked them. Like, oh no.
Of all the things to fight.
Oh no.
Yeah, but those things they don't do any damage, do they?
They explode.
Oh.
They explode. Oh,
It's
wow.
Okay.
bad.
And they zip around on the floor, right?
It's a nightmare.
I would have picked like Wookiees or something cool. Ewoks.
That would have been.
Hey, are there any Ewoks in your Star Wars game?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Only.
Not yet.
Maybe.
Can you make an Ewok in that game?
I think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An Ewok Jedi. The thing George Lucas always wanted.
Really? Yeah. That sounds really cool.
Ewoks are bad. They eat people.
It's true.
They are. They are really. Are they really?
Yeah.
They were gonna eat Luke and Han Solo.
Yeah.
They were.
Until C-3PO stopped him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they tied him up on a stick. I forgot about that.
It happens.
We'll be wrapping up in a minute. I just hit the out.
Yeah, I always want to talk about Star Wars here.
I've mentioned many times that if I played Star Wars, I would want to make a Jar Jar Binks type.
I think you can.
Whatever those guys are called.
A Gungan.
A Gungan.
Yes,
yeah.
Gungans.
I'd make a Gungan. It'd be really cool.
But yeah, we'll try and make sure that S34N lives and isn't like immediately killed.
That would be unfortunate.
Mika's taking care of her.
Like all of the NPCs that Sean gives us in our games who die immediately.
Oh, what about a Jawa? Actually, that would be a cool character.
Jawas are good.
A Jawa.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Look at this thing.
It's really nice to see you play your bard, Shauna, because you posted art of her for a while.
Oh my monk, Levity. Yeah, it's weird because I usually play like mean. I was in my phase of really mean characters. She's really nice. This is also kind of why I was like on the ball for like, what kind of plane is Paulton from? Because it's like that's her thing is Aboria's where Lyra comes from.
Oh, okay.
That's why I know so much specifically about that plane.
Oh, she's a worshiper of Lyra?
Mm-hmm. This is why the all-power thing is free, and you know.
That reminds me of Rivals of Waterdeep, where Lyra actually showed up.
Yes, gave them all symbols. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very
awesome.
excited when that was like cool. God.
Awesome.
This thing is so.
I'm
just gonna have to turn off XSplit to end this show. It's amazing.
Is it still going?
I keep clicking on it, but it won't go.
Oh my god.
Hello, chat.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
It's not like the CPU or anything. It's amazing.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah. I have to Control Alt Delete to end the show. It's insane. It's probably gonna damage the file too.
Ooh.
All right, people. I'm gonna turn off XSplit to end this show. So.
All right.
I want to thank everybody for watching. And, check out. Don't forget to check out the Waffle Talk DCA Twitter.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I got some people to run it, and they are really kicking ass.
Yeah.
So definitely follow that Waffle Talk DCA because we got a lot of cool stuff going on. And I think we're gonna be doing a dice giveaway. And actually, I got Nate's CD. I ordered it.
Oh,
I might
cool.
give that away
nice.
too. So that'll be a thing we could do. I forgot about that.
Very nice.
Okay, people. I'm shutting this thing down. So thanks for watching.
Let's see. Yeah.
We'll see you again next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.